TGR.
I don't know what it is about Final Fantasy XVI. I think maybe it's the fact that we're seeing like medieval, right? A medieval setting, a medieval theme, right? There's a big focus on the summons, the Aeons, the whatever the hell they're called, the GFs, right? These giant creatures are a big pivotal point of the story, and they haven't been a big pivotal point of the story for a while. Like in 15, they were just kind of there. You couldn't even control them. It was really annoying, and they were annoying to take down. Like the Titan fight was really annoying. And I mean, personally, I don't really care for 15 that much anyway, so take that as you will. But it's been a long time since the summons were like super duper important in a mainline Final Fantasy, right? In a mainline offline Final Fantasy. So it looks like it's a return to, like Regner says, a return to a lot of things. The medieval setting, dude, I'm really excited for. So you have that, right? Then you have this trailer that looks amazing, right? This was a trailer that launched, 2019 or maybe, or 2020, I think it was. Oh, I can see it right now. It's right here. September 16th, 2020. So we're going on a year and a half, right? 18 months since we've seen this for the first time. And we haven't seen anything since. When this game first was revealed, right? And we found out it was Creative Business Unit 3, the guys behind Final Fantasy XIV, led by Yoshida, right? We obviously know that he turned around Final Fantasy XIV, that awful launch, to A Realm Reborn. And now it is one of, if not the biggest MMORPG in the world, right? With what people say has one of, if not the best story in a Final Fantasy game in a long time. In a long time, right? So this has that potential already to have an also incredibly good story. It has the potential to feel like a very strong single-player adventure, right? It also looks darker and more mature. I mean, there's a scene here where Ifrit is like punching something, and there's just blood kind of gushing out. I mean, as we saw too, Joshua was next to a soldier, and it looks like he got beheaded, and blood splattered over his face. So it's looking like this Final Fantasy is going to be a little bit darker than what we're used to. So you've got all this, right? A mature-looking story. We've got a team that is dedicated to deliver an awesome experience, right? Like, look at this crap. That's insane. I don't know. And then, I don't know. Oh, of course. Wait, I do know. Because there's one key factor that I haven't talked about. So you've got the Creative Business Unit 3, right? You've got Square Enix taking a long time. This game has been in development for almost 6 years now, right? When it was revealed, Yoshida said that it had been 4 years in development. So 4 years back in 2020. Now we're going on almost 6. So it's 6 years. Long time to make it. I like it. And that's active development, mind you, right? Chris, so you say not as long as 15, but this is the thing about 15. 15 wasn't always an active development. Versus 13 was a thing at first. And almost the entire thing got scrapped. And then Tabata took over. And his team essentially did 15, restarted in about 2.5, 3 years of active development on actually 15. So it's different, because Versus 13 was its own thing by Nomura's team, and that got scrapped. So there was a lot of assets that obviously got ported over to Tabata's team, but they started over. So in genuine active development, 15 had like maybe 3 years, which is a miracle on its own. Like the fact that the game came out and it was actually a playable game from start to finish, even if it had some major issues, it's a testament to, I mean, the quality of the people that Square has, because that was a miracle. Like that game should have failed. Truly, it did. And it did in a lot of ways to me, but that's besides the point. But the big thing that I want to say is, you see that what was on screen right there, the combat? They got this dude from Capcom, I'm forgetting his name right now, but he worked on Dragon's Dogma. I believe he worked on some Devil May Cry games. He's done some action games for Capcom. So they've got this combat director that is really talented, that has pedigree, and he's working on the combat for this game. And Final Fantasy hasn't been a turn-based RPG since Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X was the last one, because 11 was online. 12, well, you know how 12 played, right? That was like an MMO offline. 13 was ATB with the stagger system. 14 is online. 15 was a really weird hybrid of action, but kind of role-playing, but not. It was odd. And 7 Remake, as we know, is it's that one's a hybrid too. You can play a turn-based, but we know it's not really turn-based. So yeah, so we haven't had a turn-based game in a long time. So this is the way it goes. The mainline Final Fantasies are going to be like action RPG hybrids, whatever. So they have this guy that is very talented and has the pedigree of working on action games. The combat is probably going to be really dope, right? If they can go the route of 7 Remake, but do its own thing with it, this can be one of the better combat systems, right? Because 7 Remake, it was interesting. The ATB was fueled by your attacks. So it wasn't like an action game where your primary attacks are everything. You have to actually choose, one of your skills or abilities or magic and do that after you built it up by doing your regular attacks. So it felt good. It was like a nice balance of like building up a meter, using your skills, etc., etc. All these little key factors go in. The fact that Yoshida didn't want to like reveal the game too early as well. This wasn't a game that was revealed, 6 years in advance, where it's like you see a trailer, you're like, oh my god, it's gonna be great, and you have to wait, 6 years like Kingdom Hearts 3 or even Versus 13. That was cluster cuts right there. I don't know. There is a confidence in the team and the pedigree and just how they've gone about showing this. We've only seen it the one time. This is the only trailer we've seen. We've seen nothing else. And in that one interview that Audrey on Twitter translated, looks like we're going to be getting some footage soon. I don't know what's going to happen with this game, right? I don't know if it's going to be a quality game, but I have very high hopes. It's been a long time since a Final Fantasy game, a new one at that, right? A new story, new setting, new characters has gotten me incredibly hyped the way that this one has. I was very excited for 7 Remake, but the hype didn't really get to me until the week of. I was dumb excited the week that game was going to come out, right? And it paid off. The game made me feel good. I really enjoyed Final Fantasy VII Remake. If you want to check out our review, it's an hour and a half long, and me and Rudy both loved the hell out of that game. But it's been a long time since a new Final Fantasy made me excited. 13, people like to shit on that game, and sometimes I feel like it's unfairly so, because the game actually wasn't as bad as people made it out to be. Was it linear? Yes, but and it did have issues. The cast wasn't very enjoyable most of the time, but that game set a standard that was used in 7 Remake. People that like 7 Remake and they didn't like 13 kind of baffles me, because 7 Remake hid the linearity very, very smartly. Very, very smartly. 13 did not, right? And they share a lot of the stuff. But my point is, 13 was a game that I enjoyed. I didn't play 14 or 11. 12 I enjoyed, but it wasn't one of my favorites. The last Final Fantasy that I genuinely enjoyed was Final Fantasy X. Well, and I mean mainline, right? Because again, 13, I liked it, but whatever. 13-2 and Lightning Returns, that's kind of here or there. 15, I did not enjoy, and I did really like 7 Remake. I felt like that was the return. But the last great mainline single player Final Fantasy to me was Final Fantasy X. And it's weird, because in the years that I've played the game, and since then, I've grown to appreciate it even more. I actually ended up replaying it. I think it was last year. I started a new game, and I started appreciating so much of it, so much of the game, so much of the characters, and the feel of the game, and the story, and everything was this is good. So it's been a fucking long time for me. So I don't know. I guess, long story short, to wrap this section up, I am dumb excited for Final Fantasy XVI. With again, that recently translated tweet by Audrey. It looks like a new trailer is going to be coming soon, probably during Summer Games Fest, probably during E3, or when E3 would have happened, maybe during a State of Play. Not sure when, but it's going to be happening soon. And Yoshi P has always said that he wants to release the game when, or he wants to release the game close to when the next trailer hit, because he doesn't like to keep people waiting. So, will this game come out before Forspoken? Is that a possibility? Do you think that Square would have the balls to say, okay, Forspoken comes out in October, right? And I'm taking this bit from Maximilian because he made me think about this shit, and I kind of agree with him. Show off the game in June, next month, and then 3 months later, right? July, August, September. Drop it, right? Or first booking comes out in October. Let's release Final Fantasy 16 late November. A holiday release. I don't fucking know, man. But I really, really need this game. It's been a long time coming, and it's been a long time since I felt extremely excited for a Final Fantasy game. So yeah, I need this game. It looks amazing. It looks beautiful. I hope Yoshi P can deliver. But I do trust. I do feel like it's gonna be great. So let's hope. Whew. Okay.
Hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more and stay up to date, subscribe, hit the little bell, and join our Discord.
If you want to support the channel, please check out our Patreon or hit the join button below. As always, thanks for your support and thanks for watching.